Hello students, in the previous lecture I have told you torque acting on a current loop placed in uniform magnetic field, and I have deduced the formula of torque acting on the current loop placed in uniform magnetic field, taking the loop as rectangular coil. So just I am revising here once again. You see here, suppose this is the uniform magnetic field and the plane of the rectangular current carrying coil is such that lines of force are tangential to the plane of coil. Here suppose the current is flowing in this way. This coil I have named as PQRS. So I have told that in this case what will be the torque? So already I have told that when lines of force are parallel to the plane of coil, when lines of force are parallel to plane of coil, lines of force are parallel to the plane of coil, then parallel means tangential, then torque acting, here this is the current carrying coil, torque acting on the current carrying coil will be maximum. Current carrying coil will be maximum. This, it will be maximum. And why it will be maximum? So as you know that magnetic moment vector will be the normal to the plane of coil, magnetic field it is along the plane of coil. So what will happen? Both will be at 90 degrees, so torque will be maximum. It is clear. Now see here, if the plane of coil is normal to the magnetic field, means if it is like this, that I am going to show you here. The plane of coil is this, which is normal to the magnetic field, normal to the direction of magnetic field. So you can see here plane of coil is normal to the direction of magnetic field. What is the direction of current here? First let me make the direction of current here in the coil. So in this case magnetic moment will be in the same direction as the direction of magnetic field. Magnetic moment vector M will be in the same direction as the direction of vector B, means it will be in this direction. And when both will be in the same direction, then angle between them will become 0 and torque will be 0. So when plane of coil is normal to magnetic field, and here coil is always current carrying coil. If it is not current carrying, then no torque will act. So when plane of coil is normal to magnetic field, then no torque will act upon it. No torque will act upon it. Now see here, how do you know that in this case torque will be maximum and in this it will be 0? So as already you have studied this formula, torque acting on a magnetic dipole, torque acting on a This current loop also acts like a magnetic dipole. Its one face acts as south pole in which the direction of current appears clockwise, and the other face acts as north pole in which the direction of current is anti-clockwise. If you want to see these things, want to know these things in detail, so you see the previous videos. In all those videos I have explained all these points very much detail. So what will be the torque, formula of torque? It is mb sin theta. It's clear. So here theta is 90 degree. Theta is what? Angle between vector m and vector b. It's clear. Here theta is 0 degree. Therefore in this case there will be sin 0, so torque will be 0. Here there will be sin 90. Sin 90 is 1, which is the maximum value of sin. Therefore torque will be maximum. It's clear. Then yes, in the previous lecture I have deduced this formula of torque like this. Tau equals to NIAB sin theta. It's clear. And I have told that normal on the plane of coil makes an angle theta. When the normal on the plane of coil makes an angle theta from direction of magnetic field, then torque will be this much. Torque will act upon it. It's clear. You also know that magnetic moment will be along the normal on the plane of coil. It's clear. So see here, this is the, here theta is what? Angle between normal on plane of coil. On plane of coil. From magnetic field. From magnetic field. See here. This is the angle between the normal on the plane of coil from magnetic field. Here I have told angle between magnetic moment vector and magnetic field vector. Now here I have told that angle between the normal on the plane of coil, which is the direction of magnetic moment vector, and magnetic field. Now if you compare these two, so from here you will get that in place of M, both are giving the same thing. This is also giving the torque acting on a current loop, torque acting on a magnetic dipole when it is placed in the external magnetic field. It is also giving the torque acting on a current loop placed in the external magnetic field. Only in place of M here there is N into I into A. N is the number of turns of the coil. Suppose there are 100 turns. I the strength of current which is flowing here, and A is what? It is the area of this coil. Area of this coil. Means on comparing, what will you get? So when you will compare this, so you will find that M is equal to what? M equals to NIA. M equals to NIA. It's clear. This is what? It is the magnetic moment of current carrying coil. Magnetic moment of MM. MM means magnetic moment here. Magnetic moment of current loop. Now one more thing which I want to mention here, though yes, in the previous lecture also I have told that this formula is deduced for rectangular coil, but it is true for coil of any shape. It is true for current loop of any shape. It is clear. Whatever be the shape of current loop, formula will remain same. N is the number of turns in the coil, I is the strength of current flowing through the coil, and A is the area enclosed by the coil. In vector form it will be what? In vector form you can see this can be written as vector M equals to N into I into vector A. It's clear. This is the area vector. Vector M and area vector both will be in the same direction. It is clear. Now what will be its unit? Already you know that the unit of magnetic moment is, unit of magnetic moment is ampere meter square. It's clear. This you know from your previous knowledge. Previously I have deduced this. Now from here if you see, N have no unit, I is ampere, A is area, so meter square, means this also has the same unit. It's clear. So now see here, after this, so in this topic, that torque acting on a current loop placed in uniform magnetic field, I have told everything. It's clear. Now you see moving coil galvanometer. I am going to explain, is going to start a new topic in this chapter, moving coil galvanometer. Coil galvanometer. So see here, what is galvanometer? It is a device which is used to detect the presence of current in any circuit, or it is used for measuring the smaller currents. It is clear. Device which is used for detecting presence of current. Presence of current in any circuit. Means whether there is current in that circuit or not, we can detect it with the help of moving coil galvanometer. It is also used for measuring weaker currents. During weaker currents. And why it is used for measuring weaker currents, why it is not used for stronger currents? Because of its very high resistance. It is a very high resistance instrument. Because of very high resistance of galvanometer. It is not fit for measuring stronger currents. These points are very, very important. That's why I am writing here. It is not fit for measuring stronger currents. And why? As for stronger currents, coil will produce large amount of heat energy. Will produce large amount of heat energy. That is, what is the formula of heat energy? I square RT. When I will be more, so R is already more, so what will happen? A large amount of heat energy will be produced, and due to this, there are chances of burning of coil. It is clear. Insulation of the coil will melt and coil will burn. Insulation will melt, as we know that here the coil which is used in the galvanometer do not have a plastic insulation. It don't have any plastic insulation. Instead of that, there is the insulating polish. There is a insulating paint. Paint is paint coating is there. So when there will be a very large amount of heat energy will be liberated, then that paint will melt. And when the paint will melt, then uncovered wires will come in contact, electric firing will take place, and coil will burn. It's clear. So what is galvanometer? It is used for detecting the presence of current in any circuit, as well as used for measuring the weaker currents. Stronger currents we cannot measure with the help of galvanometer. Now see here, from its name it is very much clear that here coil is moving. That coil is moving and magnet in between which it is kept, it is, those magnets are at rest. Here moving coil galvanometer. Now what is the principle of moving coil galvanometer? First you see principle of moving coil galvanometer. Of moving coil galvanometer. So you can see here, suppose here you have taken, because as we know that when a current carrying coil is placed in between the magnetic pole, current carrying coil is placed in the external magnetic field, it experiences the torque. So in order to produce the external magnetic field, we have taken two magnetic pole pieces. This is the north pole, this is the north pole, and this is the south pole. Now what will happen? It will produce the magnetic field everywhere in this direction. It's clear. Here it will produce magnetic field in this direction. It's clear. Now this is the, here there is one coil which is placed here. That coil is this. It's clear. Simply I have made the coil. Now I am not making the complete diagram, and some current is flowing through this. So if you see here, I am going to show you by some example. Here you can see, you wait for a minute. Now see here, when current will pass through this coil, it experiences the torque. This is experiencing the torque. And what is the magnitude of that torque? That torque will be given by tau equals to NIAB sin theta. Torque equals to NIAB sin theta. Here what will be the torque? NIAB sin theta. Here I have not shown that from where current is reaching in the coil, some current is flowing here. It's clear. At this moment you assume that current is flowing through this. So you will see here that it will not experience a uniform torque. Why it will not experience the uniform torque? You assume that this is the torque. This is the coil. This is the coil. At this moment you can see, that the magnetic field is along the plane of coil. Magnetic field is along the plane of coil. It experiences the maximum torque. Maximum torque, what will be the maximum torque? Already I have told, it will be theta will become 90 here. This is magnetic field, magnetic moment is this, because this is the current carrying coil, like this, it is carrying current in this. So here magnetic moment is this. Theta will be 90, so tau max will become NIAB. It's clear. When the torque will act upon it, it will rotate. And as soon as it rotates, what will happen to the normal on the plane of coil? You can see here normal is this. This is the normal. When the coil will rotate, suppose the coil takes this position. What will be the direction of normal? Normal is this. Magnetic field is still along the plane of paper. What will happen to the angle? Angle will not remain 90. Angle between the normal on the plane of coil and angle between normal on the plane of coil and magnetic field, both are the angle between the normal on the plane of coil and magnetic field that is continuously changing as the coil rotates. And here what will happen? This angle will become 0. This is the normal on the plane of coil and this is the magnetic field. Magnetic field lines are shown by the pencil. So what will happen? Theta will become 0, and when theta will become 0, when here this is theta equals to 90 degree. What will be the minimum torque? Minimum torque will be equal to 0 when theta equals to 0 degree. Means when current loop, current carrying coil is placed in the external magnetic field, it experiences a variable torque. It experiences a variable torque whose magnitude is maximum when the lines of force are parallel to the plane of coil, becomes 0 when lines of force are perpendicular to the plane of coil. Means when it is rotating, it is not experiencing a uniform torque. It is experiencing a varying torque. Therefore, a current carrying coil experiences a varying torque. It experiences a varying torque. A current carrying coil experiences a varying torque when placed in uniform magnetic field. It's clear. Torque will be non-uniform. It will be variable. Why? Because theta is continuously changing. Why it will be varying? As angle theta is changing due to rotation of coil. Changing due to rotation of coil. It's clear. And why it is changing? What is theta? The angle theta is changing due to rotation of coil. And what is theta? Theta already I have explained. Angle between normal on the plane of coil and direction of magnetic field. So since it experiences the varying torque, therefore its motion will be non-uniform. Its motion will not be uniform. Its rotational speed will not be constant. Rotational speed of coil will not be constant. How can you make the torque uniform? How can we make torque uniform? So see, a torque can be made uniform if we abolish its dependence over the sine theta, because all the other terms will remain unchanged. During rotation of coil, all the other terms will remain unchanged. It's clear? So torque can be made uniform if dependence of tau over theta or because of theta, sin theta is varying, over theta is abolished. Means if anyhow we can make possible that tau only depends upon NIAB, it don't depend upon the theta, it don't depend upon sin theta, then in every position torque will be uniform. Now for this instead of using flat magnetic pole pieces, we will use concave cylindrical magnetic pole pieces. Here this I am taking from the other page. It is clear? You can see here, for making torque uniform, torque uniform. Concave cylindrical magnetic pole pieces are used. Pole pieces are used instead of flat magnetic pole pieces. Of flat magnetic pole pieces. Instead of flat magnetic pole pieces, we will use concave cylindrical magnetic pole pieces. Now, what will be the shape of concave cylindrical magnetic pole pieces? So, already you have seen that here pole pieces are flat. It's clear. Now, we will cut them cylindrically. Means they will be cut in this way. Or I am showing from different pen. Here they will be cut in this way. Means this portion which I am shading from the red color, that will be removed. This part will be removed. Now this part will be removed. It's clear. When you will remove this, so the diagram will be something like this. When you will remove this, it will be something like this. And these concave cylindrical magnetic pole pieces now produces radial magnetic field. Radial magnetic field means along the radius of the plane of coil. It is clear. Means if you see here these are the pole pieces are like this, and this is the coil. The pole pieces are this. So what will be the direction of magnetic lines of force? This way. It will be along the radius. It is clear. When it will be along the radius, I am making it here. Pattern will be something like this. This is the pattern. It's clear. This way. So when the coil is placed here, what will happen? It will find the magnetic field at its every orientation. It's at its every orientation there will be the magnetic field. Magnetic field will be at every orientation of the coil. So when magnetic field will be along every orientation of the coil, you can see here that magnetic field is along every orientation of the coil, whether the coil is in this plane, in this position, or it is in this position, or it is in this position. It finds magnetic field in every orientation. In every orientation there will be magnetic field, and when magnetic field will be in every orientation, then normal on the plane of coil will always make 90-degree angle from magnetic field. Normal on the plane of coil will always make 90-degree angle from magnetic field. It is clear. Here one more thing which I want to tell you. Here I have shown, just for simplicity, clarity, I have shown the magnetic lines of force this way. You can see here they will be in the same way. It is clear. But they will come in this way. It is clear. Here they are intersecting. You can see here that is not possible. What will happen? They will originate from here going this way. It is clear. here it will go this way, here it will go this way. It's clear? So on the whole it will appear like this. It will appear like this, means it will be like this. It's clear? This part is produced by this pole and this part is produced by this pole. It's clear? Here in this way it will be. So in this case, when there will be the radial magnetic field, so see here I am writing concave such pole piecage produce radial magnetic field. Produce radial means along the radius, radial magnetic field which exists, which always exists along plane of coil, which always exists along the plane of coil. It's clear? Always along the plane of coil. Therefore, normal on plane of coil, will make 90-degree angle from direction of magnetic field in every orientation, in every position of coil. And when theta will be always 90, then what will be the torque? Therefore, torque acting on coil will be theta equals to tau equals to NIAB sin 90 degree. And what is sin 90? It is equal to 1. So torque will be always NIAB. Means a uniform torque will act upon the coil. It's clear? Now you can see here, there is one more point which I want to highlight here. As you know that this is used for measuring so in radial magnetic field, when the pole pieces will be like this, how much torque will act upon it? Torque acting upon it will be tau equals to NIAB. Now, as we know that this galvanometer is used for measuring weaker currents. It is used for detecting the presence of current. And how it will detect? When current will pass through it, its coil will deflect. When current will pass through it, its coil will deflect. So if the current is very small, then what will happen? It will produce a very small magnitude of torque. If the current is of the order of microampere, 10 to the power minus 6 ampere, then what will happen? It will produce a very small magnitude of torque. It's clear? And that torque may not be able to rotate the coil. Because of its rotational inertia. So what will you do? How will you make this torque significant even when the current is very small? How will you make it significant? This torque, how will you make significant so that the coil may be rotated even at a very small current? So that can be increased by increasing the number of turns, by increasing the area of coil, or by increasing the magnetic field. Now here we cannot increase N and A very much. N and A, it is not possible to increase to a very high value. And why it is not possible to make it to very high value? Because then galvanometer will become very much bulky. Its size will increase very much. It's clear? So we can increase them only up to a certain limit. But we can increase B very much, and how? By using a soft iron core inside the coil. Here inside the coil we will place a laminated soft iron core. And when this soft iron core, laminated soft iron core will be laminated soft iron core means it is made up of thin laminages of soft iron. So when we will place a laminated soft iron core, when we make the coil by doing the windings of copper wire over a laminated soft iron core, then when it will be placed in the external magnetic field, this soft iron will hugely magnetize. It will hugely magnetize means what will happen if you have placed it in this magnetic field which is produced by these magnetic pole pieces, it is 1 Gauss. Then because of the magnetization induced in the soft iron core, what will happen to the magnetic field? It will become 5000 Gauss. 5000 Gauss means it will nearly increase 5000 times. It's clear? Means we can increase the magnitude of magnetic field at the position of coil not by using very huge magnetic pole pieces which produce a stronger magnetic field. We can increase that magnetic field by placing soft iron core inside the coil. Means the coil is made by doing the windings of insulated copper wire over the laminated soft iron core. And due to this, what will happen? When the coil will be placed in this external magnetic field, which is produced by these pole pieces, this coil will magnetize hugely. A very huge magnetic field will be produced inside in the coil, in the soft iron core, and therefore the magnitude of B will increase to a very high value. So even if the current is very small, there will be a sufficient amount of torque will act upon the coil, and that torque will rotate the coil. It's clear? Now see here. Now moving coil galvanometers are of 2 types. There are 2 types of the moving coil galvanometer. One is suspended coil galvanometer and other is the pivoted coil galvanometer. Today I am going to explain you, suspended coil galvanometer. You can see the diagram. Here this is already I have drawn it. So in suspended coil galvanometer, this is the coil which is made by doing the windings of insulated copper wire over a laminated soft iron core. Soft iron core is used in order to intensify the strength of magnetic field in that location, in that position where the coil is situated. It's clear? So that even in the weaker current, it produces a sufficient amount of torque and the coil rotates. It's clear? Now this coil is placed in between concave cylindrical magnetic pole pieces. It is suspended in between concave cylindrical magnetic pole pieces which are shown here, which produce the radial magnetic field, and because of this radial magnetic field, when current will pass through the coil in every position, it will experience the same magnitude of torque which is given by that already I have told you, NIAB. As you can see here from its name, it is very much clear that it is a suspended coil galvanometer. Means the coil is suspending. Here coil is suspending from a phosphor bronze strip. You can see here. It is suspending from a phosphor bronze strip. It's clear. What is phosphor bronze strip? It is highly tensile. Therefore it bears the weight of the coil. It will not break due to the weight of coil and due to the rotation. When it will rotate, this strip will also get twisted. This strip will also get twisted and it will not break. due to the twisting produced in the strip because of rotation of coil. So it is highly tensile as well as good conductor. Therefore, it carries the current to the coil. So in moving in the suspended coil galvanometer, there is a coil which is placed in between the magnetic pole pieces. Here this is the coil which is placed in between the magnetic pole pieces. How will you make the coil? That already I have told, by doing the windings of insulated copper wire over the laminated soft iron core. What is the purpose of laminated soft iron core? That I have told. Now it is suspending from a torsion head. You can see here, this is the torsion head from where it is suspending. From where it is suspending. It is clear. Now there is a plane mirror which is attached near to the coil. Near to the coil on the phosphor bronze strip. Over the phosphor bronze strip, a plane mirror is fixed. A plane mirror is fixed. Now see here, what is the purpose of this plane mirror? It is used for recording the deflection suffered by the coil. That what is the magnitude of deflection suffered by the coil when current passes through it. There is one more use of torsion head. It is used for adjusting the plane of coil and plane of mirror. Both should be in the same plane. In the beginning, plane of coil and plane of mirror both should be same. It is clear. Now the other end of the coil is connected to a phosphor bronze spring or a silvered quartz spring. So what is the purpose of phosphor bronze spring? When the coil will rotate, turns of the spring will get twisted. You can see here. When the coil will rotate on passing the electric current, turns of the spring will get twisted. And when the turns of the spring will get twisted, what will happen? It will produce an opposing couple. Producing opposing couple means opposing to the deflecting couple, which produces here due to the passing of electric current. Here, when the coil will rotate, turns of the spring will get twisted. When the turns of the spring will get twisted, what will happen? It will produce opposing couple, that is a restoring couple, which opposes to the deflecting couple. It is clear? Now the other end here, these are the terminals for external circuit. With the help of these terminals, it is connected in the external circuit. It is clear? It is connected in the external circuit. Now we can also use this spring as quartz spring, but as quartz is not the good conductor of current, therefore we do the silvering over the quartz. When the silvering will be done, what will happen? Due to the silvering, current will flow. Current will flow this way and it will go in this way. It's clear? So this is the construction of the suspended coil galvanometer. In the suspended coil galvanometer, coil is suspending in between the magnetic pole pieces with the help of the phosphor bronze strip. What is the use of plane mirror? Used for recording the deflection suffered by the coil. What is the use of torsion head? Torsion head is used for adjusting the plane of coil. What is the use of this phosphor bronze spring? It produces restoring couple, it produces opposing couple when the coil rotates because of the twisting in its turns. It is clear? And this restoring couple increases more and more. It increases more and more as there is the more and more twisting. As there is more and more twisting. And at a stage, this couple produced due to the twisting of the spring will become equal to the deflecting couple and coil will come to rest. And how much angle it has rotated, that we can read with the help of the plane mirror. T1, T2 are the terminals for the external circuit. So now I am going to explain you first. So this is the construction of the moving suspended coil galvanometer. But before I am going to tell you principle of moving coil galvanometer, that is principle of suspended coil galvanometer. What is its principle? You can see here. Principle of this, I can say, principle of moving coil galvanometer. It's clear. Principle of, actually I have forgotten this point. I have to explain before explaining to suspended coil galvanometer. But anyway, you see here, principle of moving coil galvanometer. Now, as you know that when current passes through the coil of galvanometer, it experiences torque, which is given by NIAB. And because of this torque, coil will deflect. Coil will deflect. Now see here, coil will deflect means here we have denoted by angle of deflection by theta. So from here you can see that the magnitude of deflection is directly proportional to torque. Torque is directly proportional to I, because only I can change. NAB, these are the constant. So by measuring the magnitude of deflection, we can measure the strength of current. This is the principle of moving coil galvanometer. You can see once again, what is the principle of moving coil galvanometer? It is based upon the fact that when current passes through the coil of galvanometer, it experiences a torque which is directly proportional to the magnitude of current. Since the deflection suffered by the coil is proportional to the torque and torque is proportional to the current, therefore deflection is proportional to torque, torque is proportional to current. By measuring deflection, we can measure the strength of current. By measuring deflection, we can measure the strength of current. So this I am writing here. It's clear. You can see here, when principle when current passes through coil of moving coil galvanometer, it experiences a torque. Which is proportional to strength of current flowing through the coil. Since magnitude of deflection suffered by coil is proportional to current, is proportional to torque, which is proportional to current. You can see here, since magnitude of deflection suffered by coil is proportional to torque and torque is proportional to current, which is proportional to current, therefore by measuring current, by measuring deflection, current can be measured. Means how will you measure the current? By measuring the deflection. More the deflection, more will be the current. Less the deflection, less will be the current. So this is the principle of moving coil galvanometer. Now already I have told that moving coil galvanometer are of two types. One is the suspended coil galvanometer, in which the coil of galvanometer is suspending with the help of phosphor branch strip in between two magnetic pole pieces. This phosphor branch strip is good, highly tensile and good conductor of current. Highly tensile, therefore it bears the load of the coil, as well as it do not break on rotating the coil, because when coil will rotate there will be the twist produced in the strip. It is clear. Now see here, this is placed in between radial magnetic pole pieces, concave cylindrical magnetic pole pieces, which produce radial magnetic field. Because of that, coil experiences uniform torque at its every orientation. The other end of the coil is connected to the phosphor branch strip, which produces the restoring couple, which produces the opposing couple when the coil rotates. When the coil will rotate, its turns will get twisted. Therefore, twisting will produce the opposing couple. That opposing couple will increase more and more as there will be more and more twist. It's clear. And when this opposing couple becomes equal to deflecting couple acting on the coil will come to rest. That magnitude of deflection can be recorded with the help of lamp and scale arrangement and using this plane mirror. That lamp and scale I am not showing here. Here these are the terminals with the help of which it is connected in the external circuit. It is clear. Now see here, if we assume, now I am explaining here, you wait, let me take out one page from here. Yes, you can see here, let I current passes through it. I current passes through the coil. When I current will pass through the coil, how much deflecting torque will act upon the coil? Deflecting torque acting on the coil, deflecting torque acting on coil, on the coil, that will be equal to NIAB. Working I am not writing, I have explained number of times, so you can watch the video and you can write down. It is clear. Deflecting torque acting on the coil is NIAB. Let in equilibrium. Equilibrium means when the restoring couple becomes equals to deflecting couple. Let in equilibrium, coil rotates by an angle phi. Angle phi means it rotates by an angle phi. It's clear. We will record the rotation suffered by the plane mirror by using lamp and scale arrangement. And since both are having same plane, so by same angle the coil will rotate. So let in equilibrium, coil rotates by an angle phi. Therefore, what will be the twist produced in the turns of the spring? That will be equal to same by which it has rotated. Therefore, therefore twist produced in the spring due to rotation of coil. Twist produced in the spring due to the rotation of coil, that will be equal to phi. It's clear. It will be equal to the same angle by which the coil rotate. Here this we take in radian, phi radian. It is clear. Now if restoring couple per unit angle of twist, per unit angle of twist is C. It is clear. Restoring couple per unit angle of twist is C. This C depends upon the thickness of the spring. It will depend upon the thickness of the spring as well as on its length. On both the factors it will depend. So that I will discuss afterwards. So see here, for 1 radian it produces this much restoring couple. So when there will be twist of phi radian, then how much couple it will produce? It will produce C into phi. Means restoring couple equals to restoring couple, which we also say opposing couple, it will be equal to C into phi. So in equilibrium, deflecting couple equals to restoring couple. Deflecting couple will be equals to restoring couple, that is NIAB equals to C into phi. So what will be I? I equals to C upon NAB into phi. C upon NAB into phi. Now see here what is C upon NAB? It is a manufacturer's constant. It is what? It is the manufacturer's constant whose value is supplied by the manufacturer. Manufacturer supplies this value. Why? Because he knows the quality of the spring. It is clear. The value of C, which is also known as the torsional constant, which is also known as the restoring, this also known as torsional constant. Torsional constant. The torsion which has produced in the spring due to the twisting, torsional constant. It is made, its value depends upon the length as well as on the thickness of this spring. It is clear. So now see here. So this bracket is a manufacturer's constant. Its value is supplied by the manufacturer. Why? Because the C, this is the quality, depends on quality of a spring. N number of turns which manufacturer knows that there are how many turns. A is the area of coil, that is also known to the manufacturer. You don't know, experimenter don't know, because experimenter don't do the post-mortem of that galvanometer. He don't open that galvanometer. It is clear. So he has not manufactured to the galvanometer. So he don't have any idea about N or A or B. It is clear. So this value is supplied by manufacturer. Means here C upon NAB, that we can write equals to some constant K. It is clear. It is known as manufacturer's constant. Manufacturer's constant means its value is simply supplied by the manufacturer. It is clear. So what will be this here? You see here in the next page. Here what will be? You can see that I will become equal to K into phi. I equals to K into phi. Therefore, and phi is what? Phi already I have told. In equilibrium, coil rotates by an angle phi. Equilibrium means when deflecting couple equals to restoring couple. Equilibrium means coil has come to rest. Coil has come to rest. Coil has come to rest. It is clear. This is the meaning of equilibrium. In equilibrium, coil will come to rest and these two couples will become equal. It is clear. So see here. Here you can see by measuring the deflection suffered by the coil, current can be measured. Therefore, by measuring deflection suffered by coil, current can be measured. Current can be measured. This thing can be measured. It is clear. Now see here, there is one more thing. Now you can see, we can measure the strength of current by measuring the deflection suffered by the coil. Now see here, there are some more points you can see. This suspended coil galvanometer, suspended coil galvanometer can measure currents, of the order of microampere. Of the order of microampere means the currents which of the order of microampere are even smaller, that can be measured with the help of this. There is one more thing. Here we can make the torsional constant C small, that we will study in the sensitivity of galvanometer, by using a long and fine suspension strip. It's clear. Means C can be made small. C is what? Restoring couple per unit angle of twist. It is known as torsional constant. It is clear. Can be made small. Number 1, by using long and fine suspension strip. By using long and fine suspension strip. It's clear. Now what is the meaning of fine suspension strip? Means thin suspension strip. It's clear. And a thin spring of phosphor, bronze or quartz. It's clear. And thin spring of phosphor, bronze or quartz, as we have already using this material phosphor, bronze or silvered quartz for the spring which is used for producing restoring couple. You can see here, if this strip is longer, it's clear, and it is thin, what will happen? There will be the value of C will be very small. Similarly, if we use a thin phosphor, bronze spring, then in that case C will become very small and sensitivity will be increased. Means even a very small current can produce the deflection in the galvanometer. It's clear. So that can be achieved by decreasing the value of C. And by how will you decrease the value of C? So it can be decreased by using thin strip, by using that long strip, this should be long also. Here it is this much long, you can take more longer. It is clear. As well as the spring is of thin, spring is also thin. It is clear. Now after this I am going to explain you pivoted coil galvanometer. You can see the diagram here, pivoted coil galvanometer, and what is the difference in between suspended coil galvanometer and pivoted coil galvanometer. So both are having the same principle, both are based on the same principle. It is clear. There is no difference of the principle. What is the same principle means? Both are based on the same fact that when current passes through the coil, it experiences a torque, and because of that torque it deflects. By measuring the deflection we can measure the strength of current. But here we can directly get the current. Here no need to measure the deflection like here. Here we were measuring firstly deflection suffered by this, and then measuring the current. Then measuring the current by using this formula here already I have told. It's clear. In the suspended coil galvanometer, firstly we were measuring phi, and then we were calculating the current. Current was not being measured, it was being calculated. Phi was measured from the experiment. But here directly we can measure the current. There is a pointer which is attached with the coil, and this pointer rotates along with the coil. Now here coil is pivoted in between two pivots. It is pivoted in between two pivots. These are the two pivots. In between this the coil is fixed. What is its advantage? Here there is no requirement of the perfect horizontal arrangement, while here this requires the perfect horizontal arrangement. Otherwise the coil will come in contact of the magnetic pole pieces and its motion will not be free. So here the coil has been pivoted in between these two pivots. Now here we use hair springs. Hair springs means that the kachua chop springs which are used in the watches. These produce the opposing couple when the coil rotates. It is clear. Here these are the terminals. So other things are same. When you will connect with the help of wire here, current will pass through it, it will deflect, and there will be the corresponding deflection of the pointer. Pointer will rotate over a scale which is graduated in milliampere. It is clear. But here its sensitivity is smaller than suspended coil galvanometer. It can measure currents only of the order of milliampere. Its sensitivity is low. It can measure currents only of the order of milliampere. While pivoted suspended coil galvanometer can measure the currents of the order of microampere. Means there is no difference in the principle of pivoted and suspended coil galvanometer. There is only constructional difference. It is clear. No difference in principle. Only constructional difference. It's clear. It directly records the current. There is no need to calculate the current. Directly records current. While its sensitivity is low, it can measure the current only of the order of milliampere. So in this lecture only up to here. Now we will discuss the sensitivity of galvanometers in the next lecture. Thank you.